said, if I was that lucky, I wouldn't be here with you tonight, would I? Well, we started dating right away, and it got really frisky. Connie said, Eddie, we can start sleeping together right away, as long as we don't have any sex. I said, good enough, come on. I'm going to take you over to George's restaurant, but you can't have no food. Connie, you don't understand. My love for you is like diarrhea. I just can't hold it in. I remember the first time we made sweet love. Oh, do you remember that, dear? Our two bodies just coiled up in that sweet agony of coitus. We made love for the first time in the backseat of our parents' car. I think we did a pretty good job, but they kept on turning around and not watching the road. The second time we made out, it was a lot more intimate. We went to the drive-in theater. We went to see the movie, closed for the season. Connie must have seen that one before, because she jumped me right there. God's word. She said, Eddie, I want us to practice safe sex tonight. So I put the emergency brake on. She must have thought I was something good though. She said, Eddie, from now on when it comes to sex, you can hold your own. I said, Miss Connie, I said, what would you rate me? Would you rate me an A, B, or C? She said an I. An I, what the hell's an I? She said, incomplete. But we got to be pretty close. I would be walking down Craig Street with Connie. I'd have my jug of wine. She'd have her jugs too. We used to call us the jug twins. Here they come again. Here come the jug twins down Craig Street. I mean, honest to God, this is the only woman I've ever dated. She can enter a room, and 10 seconds later she walks into it, if you know what I mean. We were freaking inseparable. We were that close. It was awesome. We were so inseparable. One night it took 4 OPP officers and a dog just to get us apart. She used to bite, but you know something? I hate to bring this up. I had to dump her. She just wasn't good enough for me. And I'm going to give you 3 main reasons why she wasn't good enough for me. First one, and you all know this, her cooking. She did not cook worth a coon's pinch. It was that bad. Honest to God, she was horrible. She's the only woman I know that could boil water and burn it at the same time. She said one night we were in the apartment, she said, Eddie, I want you to take me somewhere I've never been before. I took her to the kitchen. Honest to God, when Connie cooks, we prayed after we ate. It got so bad, the flies all chipped in about a stream of water. I figured the least I could do was teach her about the fine art of culinary. So I took her to a highfalutin top-end restaurant down there in Chrysler. The waiter came and said, tonight's special is cow's tongue with a pork sauce. Connie said, I ain't eating nothing that comes out of an animal's mouth. Now get me some eggs. The second reason why I had to dump Connie was communication. I didn't talk to her for the first 3 months when we were dating. I didn't like to interrupt her. But I'm so glad to see they changed tonight's agenda. I looked at the first one Connie made up. 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, cocktails. 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. They did that Jeopardy thing. And from 8 o'clock to 11:30, A few words of gossip from Connie Johnston. I mean, you think about it. Now just think about it here for a minute. In Russell, you only got 3 main types of communication. You got telephone, television, and teleconnie. Now this one's the fastest, but the least accurate. Not accurate. I got one here for you, my trivia queen. What do you call Connie Johnston driving south on the North Boundary Road? Anyone know? Info Highway. I talked to poor Jerry there this morning. He was in some shape. He was crying and just beside himself. I said, Jerry, what the hell's going on? Eddie, you don't understand. Me and Connie had a wicked, wicked fight. We were swearing and cursing, and she's not going to talk to me for a full month. Jerry, there's some right sides to that story. I said, that's not such a bad thing, really. He said, Eddie, you don't understand. Today's the last day. Now the third reason is education. Everybody knows that I was an honor student and she wasn't. Now look at me. Oh, I see some notes. I'll prove to you that I was an honor student, okay? You guys good with that? Yes, Your Honor. Guilty, Your Honor. Can I have time to pay that fine, Your Honor? See, Connie growing up wasn't the brightest. Her dad said she was about as bright as a light on a small piece of appliance unplugged. I mean, her daddy put a slow children sign outside her window and there was no road. Honest to God, I mean, this woman couldn't pour water into a boot with instructions on the heel. Now think about that. So, let me give you an example. In kindergarten, there she is in kindergarten class, and the teacher says, I want everyone now to tell me what you did this summer, but I want you to sound more like an adult. So that goddamn goody two-shoes, Miss Mary Claire, I can't ski, got up and said, Teacher, I went to visit my Nana this summer. Well, very good, Mary Claire, but if you want to sound like an adult, you say, I went to visit my grandmother. Oh. Anyone else? Well, Henry stalled and got up. Henry said, I went for a ride on a choo-choo. Well, that's good, Henry, but if you want to sound like an adult, you say, I went for a ride on a locomotive or a train. Oh. Anyone else? Connie stuck up her hand. Yes, Connie, what did you do this summer? She said, well, teacher, I read a book. Everybody was stunned, just like you are right now. You know? And he said, I don't know, I don't speak maritime, but I think she said he read a book. All right, Connie, tell us what you read in an adult way. Connie stuck out her chest and she said, I read Willie the Shit. She's dogmatic, it's just not fully rocked, okay? She'll go and tell you, honest to God, this is how slow this child is. She would tell everybody she grew up in a one-room schoolhouse. Well, that's absolute bull. She just never graduated out of grade 3. It was the same class of all her life, that's all it was. And it got worse. I remember one hot July afternoon, Connie was painting the apartment. I figured the least I could do was wander over with a cup of cold beer, a couple of sandwiches, you know, try to get in her pants again. And Connie was just too friggin' cheap to pay anyone to do this. So I wandered over, and it was hot. It was hot July afternoon. I get in there. Connie is sweating like a hen hauling wood. She has just got water dripping down from her. Her face is all red. She's wearing a winter parka and a fur coat while painting. Connie, what the frig are you doing? She said, Eddie, I read the instructions on the can, why don't you? So I did. It said, for best results, put on 2 coats. I had to dump her. She ran off with an OPP officer right after that. But she had her dealings with the OPP again. I heard she had her planters damaged last summer. Her planters at the end of the driveway were vandalized. She called in the OPP. They came to investigate it. This is a clear act of vandalism, Connie said, the OPP detective. I need you to write down anyone you ever pissed off, spoke poorly of, spoke behind their back. We're going to interview everyone around the clock as suspects until we figure out who it is. Well, I talked to the OPP detective. The good news is, in another 3.5 years, they'll have all the interviews done. I don't know why she just didn't give them the goddamn phone book. And where's that reporter, Tom Van Doobie, anyway? He writes, nobody's going to say anything bad about Connie. I'd like to know what the hell he was smoking. This is the only roast I've ever been at where people came in, they got screened and had metal detectors for their own protection. Anyway, I'm going to bring this to a close. Today, I was back in the great city of Russell, and I'm driving up Castor in my two-tone truck. Triangle gray and triangle red. Anyway, it's got personalized license plates on it. Well, Patty made me in prison. I figured that's as personal as you can get. So there I am, driving down Castor, my unregistered, unlicensed, uninsured truck. 2-4 beer on the front seat, jug of wine, smoking a couple, if you know what I mean. You know, just trying to blend in with the locals and all. All of a sudden behind me, I see red and blue lights. It's the OPP. Well, I looked down, I was only doing 30 miles an hour, so I did what any good Russell redneck would do. I floored it. Screaming through town. That bugger was right on my ass. We went down Mill Street at 90 miles an hour. I said, I gotta take evasive maneuvers. I drove to Embrom, and then I drove past Tim Hortons. He's still on my ass, so I figured the game's up, I better pull over. Now the good news was, ladies and gentlemen, I only had one beer left in the truck. Bad news was, it was still in my hand. Officer came up, he says, oh my God, your eyes are so bloodshot. I said, hell, you want to try seeing out of them? He said, what are you doing? I'm doing 90 miles an hour through town. Couldn't have been me, officer. I haven't been out an hour yet. He says, why were you driving so fast? I'll tell you the truth. 25 years ago, I broke up with Connie Johnston. She ran off with an OPP officer. For a minute, I thought it was you trying to learn. He said to me, he said, I know Connie Johnston. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he let me go. Now, if you all excuse me, Lindy Fail says she's going to meet me out in the parking lot. She don't care if I wear socks.
Okay, we're running just a tad behind. We're still trying to get you out before 2 o'clock this morning. It's time for more sweets and treats. And reminder that this will be the last call for the silent auctions. The live auction starts in 10 minutes, so please take your seats.